Hi everyone. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can leverage real estate appreciation strategies to generate or create more wealth for you. So, as you already know, that cash flow is the lifeline of your business. You need cash flow to run your business on a day-to-day basis. But your actual wealth is generated when your real estate asset appreciates. Now, there are different ways in which you can approach this and look at what are the different ways you can use appreciation to generate more wealth for you. There are two main categories of appreciation you can look at. One is you can look at market-based appreciation, which is basically you are leaving it to the market forces to create appreciation for your real estate assets. And second is the forced appreciation, where you are taking matters in your own hand and trying to appreciate the assets which you currently own. So let's take both scenarios and understand when you would apply one or the other. So first, if you look at it from a market appreciation strategy perspective, in this case, you have bought an asset and you're doing a buy and hold for a long period of time, and then you're just relying on the market to apply appreciation over a period of time. In this case, you are not doing anything artificial to appreciate the value of your real estate asset. You're just going to rely on the market as it progresses. So you buy an asset, 10-15 years down the line, the asset grows in appreciation because of the place where it is located, because of the region it is in, and because where the market is. Now, the market can also be down. It can be a recession, or it can be a point where the real estate market is really trending down, and that can also happen. But at the same time, you can time the market in a way that when you want to sell that asset, you will look at a time when the assets are growing or appreciating. So in this case, you are at the mercy of the market and you're relying on the market forces to appreciate your asset. Now, most real estate investors are interested to grow the asset value because that's the way they generate wealth, and they do not want to leave it to the market, right? So they want to do things where they can increase the asset value, whereby they can sell and generate more wealth because of that. And the way they do it is by doing something called as the forced appreciation way. So what they're doing in this case is they are buying an asset and applying some value add on top of it, which allows them to grow the value of that asset artificially. And when I say artificially, as it's not based on the natural market forces, but they are adding value to it so that the value goes up and then they get the appreciation they're looking for. Now, there are two strategies there when you look at a value add appreciation. One is you can look at it from buying something which is a distressed property. You basically buy a property, you go ahead and you go and fix that property. It could be like you go and bring it down to the studs, you go and install brand new drywall, plumbing, electricians, the whole 9 yards. And then you take that asset and either you sell it off for a profit at that time, or you basically hold it for a short period of time. You can go ahead and rent it out, and after let's say a year or two, you can go and refinance it or take all the money out by selling it as a turnkey investment. So in this case, it's a small duration of time by which you're holding the property. You're taking something which is distressed, you're adding value on top of it, right? And when it goes back in the market, now the value which you have added on the distressed property allows you to sell it at a higher price. And they have something called as an ARV, which is the after repair value, which allows you to take the distressed asset, put some money into it, fix it up, and the after repair value is something that the market will provide you in terms of, okay, this is what the asset is now appreciated to. And then when you sell it, the difference could be the money which you make. It is what allows you to basically have the appreciation value there. So this is a little riskier approach of doing it, but it's definitely a way many of the real estate investors go about and do it. They will buy distressed property, fix it up, increase the value, either rent it for some time or sell it off. The next way you can look at the way you can force appreciation is the value add strategy. In this case, what you're doing is you are buying a property, you're not going through and doing a very major renovations on it. You're taking it, you're either going ahead and increasing the revenues or you're reducing the operation cost here. So what you're doing is you look at the property and say, okay, what if I just give it a facelift? What if I just go and basically paint the walls, go ahead and clean up the front of the particular property, put some new landscaping in there, go ahead and maybe even paint the exterior of the building or the house which is there. Inside the particular house, you could go ahead and replace appliances. You could also go ahead and basically change the cabinet, change the granite countertops, and basically put some new flooring in there. So what you're doing is you're making cosmetic changes. You're not basically going and uprooting the whole house, but you're making enough changes so that you can either rent it out at a higher rent, or you can basically sell it to someone who might be able to take it as is and then rent it at a higher place. So what you did was you added value to an existing house or an apartment, and then you basically force the appreciation of that particular property there. So this way you can look at two different mechanisms you can apply. One is you can take a distressed property and go and really revamp it, and then you increase the value of that property. Or you can take a little more less riskier approach. In this case, what you're doing is you're taking a property, doing cosmetic changes to it enough that can show a little more value on top of it, wherein you can go and rent it at a higher rate, and which allows you to then increase your revenue. You might even do some optimization on the expenses side, and that way you're also increased value. So if you really look at it, that you could either go and do appreciation based on market forces, or you can do a forced appreciation. Many or most of the real estate investors will look at how they can force appreciation, because they have a timeline of investment from 2 to 7 years, and they want to very quickly make the changes, stabilize the property, increase the value of that property, and then sell it off, and then rinse and repeat at some another property. So that way they can force the appreciation, get the value, generate the value, create it, and then get the value out of it. Now, one thing also to keep in mind in all of this, the way you make money in real estate is when you buy the real estate, not when you sell the real estate. So your value generation or the value creation happens at the moment you buy the asset at the right price. And that's the way in which you can then go and add value, right? You go ahead and basically renovate it, you go ahead and add some more cosmetic changes, but all of that will only work when you buy it at the right price. So please keep that in mind, that you can force appreciation, but all that will only work when you bought the property at a price which allows you to increase the value of it and then sell it off in the market. Hope this helps you. Hope you understand that appreciation is a good way in which you can increase the value of your property and you can generate wealth. If there are any questions or comments, please put them in the channel chat, and I would definitely respond to it. Thank you so much, and catch you next week. Bye.